Get it right away.
Hey church, Brady Malachik here. You're watching Hot Seat, a show where we ask hot questions with even hotter wings. Today we're joined by a special guest. He is a father, a husband, he is a minister, and he is the prison ministry director here at Word of Life Christian Center, Minister Darnell.
Thank you. It's good to be here with you.
Yeah? How are you with spicy food?
Well, I think I've expressed that before we got here, but as a team player, I'm sitting here.
Yeah? Taking one for the team. All right, I like that. Well, how about we just jump right into it and start on our first wing?
Good wings.
Yeah? How is it?
The sauce is
Spicy at all?
it's spicy, but mildly.
Okay.
Not too bad.
Now, I think for any people here that have been here for any length of time, they know you as Minister Darnell, and they also know your wife, Miss Carol. How did you guys meet? I've never heard the story about that.
My wife and I actually met in church.
Okay.
I think I had been on staff probably about 5 years at that point. I came on staff in the maintenance department. I worked as a janitor for a number of years. My wife was a receptionist. So that's basically the way that we met. It was, of course, a number of years after we met that we actually started dating.
Okay.
And we dated for about a year, and I asked her to marry me. And so the rest is history. Actually, we got married in 2002, April 13th. Actually, was a Saturday. How's that for remembering? I practice that a lot because
good
she
memory.
asked me that.
Keeps you on your toes, right?
Absolutely.
Stay on her good side.
Yes, absolutely. So, yeah, we met in church.
Okay, cool. So you said you were a janitor, right? And she was a receptionist. Needless to say, you always made sure her trash bin was always empty, giving yourself an excuse to come around, huh?
Absolutely. If someone, let's say, now I oversee that department, right? And those who come in and do the cleaning, of course, we contract it.
Right.
I always notice that my office is much cleaner than anybody else's office,
Gotta
right?
make sure the boss is happy.
So where my wife was concerned, since, I was attracted to her, yes, I actually spent more time there than I did in Pastor David's office, I'll just say.
I don't blame you. I would do the same thing, any excuse to come around. But, well, let's hop into the second one.
Like I said, I'm familiar with it, so not too bad.
Spicy at all?
A little bit. I was just a little bit more spicier than the one that we just had.
Okay. Good that we got the scale down then. So, I'm sure not many people know about your family background. Did you come from a small family? Did you come from a big family? Why don't you familiarize us with that?
Actually, I'm from what some would consider a very large family. I was raised in a small town in the northeastern part of Louisiana. The town, it was called Tallulah. Actually, the way I help people to identify with the name of the town, there used to be a very famous celebrity, lady actress. Her name was Tallulah Bankhead. And the name of my town is spelled the same way as her name is spelled. So that's one way I kind of relate that. I raised there, high school, the whole works. Right. Graduated from high school there. And moved from there to Las Vegas. Actually came to Las Vegas a year prior to my graduation, right, for job purposes. Louisiana, and in particularly that town that I was raised in, it was somewhat economically deprived.
Right.
So it was not a lot of job opportunities there for.
Not too many openings.
Yeah, especially kids my age, right?
Right.
So I had family members who lived in Las Vegas, so came out for summer and landed a job in Las Vegas, stayed until the end of the summer, went back, graduated from high school, and then returned to Las Vegas.
Okay. Do you have any family out here, or where's most of your family?
Most of the family actually are in Las Vegas, have family members in other parts of the country, but most of them are in Las Vegas. Incidentally, I don't think I mentioned the size of my family. I did say large,
Yeah.
but from a family of 10, I have 9 siblings, so pretty large family.
Yeah, your mom and dad loved each other, that's for sure. Well, let's hop into the next one.
Okay.
Spicier? Oh yeah, right on the lips.
No, the brain too. That is more spicy. You guys are heating things up here.
Well, you mentioned heating things up. Let's heat it up with some deeper questions.
Okay.
So, were you raised in church at all growing up?
Growing up as a boy, small boy, my mom, actually my mom was a single mom, right? But we were always had to be in church, in Sunday school, right? Southern Baptist Sunday school, and I probably shouldn't be chewing on this. I can feel this heat even more
good.
so now. So where church was concerned, it was a part of the family structure. And though I was raised in church and went to Sunday school and all of those things, learned about the Bible characters and Bible stories and that type thing. So I knew of God and about God, and because my mom, she had a relationship with God, she kept that before us. However, I had not entered into a personal relationship. I didn't know Jesus on a personal basis.
Right. So you mentioned, I've heard you refer to your past testimony, or your past and your testimony. Was there a come to Jesus moment in particular that stands out to you? What did coming to faith in Jesus look like for you?
Well, for me, it actually was here at Word of Life Christian Center. When I say here, I don't mean this location. The church was located in other areas, and at that particular time, it was on West Charleston in Valley View. It was a storefront church. Pastor David usually say it was 19.5 by 60 feet, right?
Yeah.
So it was
a lot bigger or a lot smaller than what we're in now.
Yeah, by 4. So my coming to Jesus was in that church, and we used to have. At that time, they used to have what was called home fellowships. And home fellowships were small groups of believers from the church would get together in homes in the valley. And it was every month that those home fellowships would come together on a Thursday night, and they would have a group home fellowship.
Right.
And that's the type of a service that I attended that particular night. And listening to Pastor David preach the message, I tell people that I can't necessarily go back and say what word for word that message
don't
was.
Remember it.
No, but everything that was said spoke directly to my heart,
Right.
and where I was in life at that time. And so Pastor David, as he always have, gave an altar call at the end of the message. And I responded to that altar call. And I remind people that in that altar call, he asked that anyone who respond raise their hand. And so I tell people that moment was one of the hardest things that I ever had to do, was to get my hand up in the air, right? And once that took place, then you have to stand up, right?
Yeah.
That was another challenge. But that wasn't enough. He asked those who raised their hand to come. So it was progressively tougher for me to get there. And I understand why now, didn't at that particular time. So I did make my way down front, and he prayed the sinner's prayer with me, and it was like tons of weight dropped off of my shoulders at that point in time. Right. And that was my coming to Jesus moment.
How do you feel? It kicks in after a little bit. Huh?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. The throat kind of lingers there, you know?
Yeah. So we mentioned some of the different roles and some of the different hats that you have. We talked about supervisor for the maintenance crew. And we also talked about how you are the head of the prison ministry. I think the past 2 years, the prison ministry, the church has been through a lot, but the prison ministry has been through a lot as well. The detainees have been through a lot as well. It was closed for the longest time, opened up for about 2 months, and then it closed back again. How excited are you to get back into the prisons for that opportunity? And can you share the importance of going into the prison ministry or going into the prisons and reaching the detainees? Because a lot of people look at the prison ministry as maybe not the most exciting in the sense of it scares them and they don't know how the detainees will react. I found out that they're more open than your average person. So how excited are you to get back in there, and can you share the importance of the prison ministry and how vital it is for the church?
Absolutely. I'm very excited about it. As you just mentioned, of course, we've been out of the saddle, I'll just say, for quite some time.
Too long.
Too long. And, you know, when you are a part of something, you are involved in something that, you know, actually, it's not just you going through motions of, you know, serving people, but it's your heart is involved. And as you know, Brady, because you are a member of the prison ministry, I think it's one of the most gratifying ministries that a person can be involved in, because one of the reasons anyway is that you are going to a population of people who for the most part the world has forgotten. You know, they say out of sight, out of mind.
Right. And
when a person is incarcerated, they are forgotten by people, and I think that's part of the punishment. You know. Of course, we know that Jesus have not forgotten about them. And so he called people like you and myself to go to them because he has not forgotten about them. And you minister to people that, as you mentioned, they are, you know, if someone is considering going into the penal institution centers, and they are not quite to a place where they have made their minds up, they have made a decision to do it, and they are, let's say, waffling about it. And many times it's because of fears, and those fears are many times unfounded. And what I mean by that is, you know, until you step into something, you don't know what the experience is like until you're there. And so going into the prison system, obviously, because of the stigma that's on that, those who are incarcerated, you're thinking, well, you know, I'm going into an environment where you have all of these criminals and, you know, robbers and thieves and murderers and you know, the list goes on and on. Well, that can produce a fear. But nevertheless, again, as you know, it's one of the audiences that absorb so easily what is being communicated to them, and that's And so it's very rewarding, very fulfilling, very exciting to be a part of the prison ministry. And I'm very excited about things opening back up and giving us that opportunity to go back in and do what Jesus has called us to do in that capacity.
Amen. I'm so excited that I got hot sauce.
I know you want to take some time to get that cleared up. You probably got to wash your.
Do you have
Can you cut it?
Napkin?
Yeah.
Oh no, we're good. I always tell people if you want to see the gospel, join the prison ministry.
Yes.
Because we get so familiar with Christianity. You know, we
That's true.
clock in our Christian time clock, 10 to 11:30, whatever,
Yeah.
and then we go home and call it good and go to work for a
true.
week. So, join the prison ministry.
Yes,
So,
yes,
we need the
I
help.
agree wholeheartedly. Yeah. When Jesus turned water into wine, what was said is, "You've saved the best for last."
And this is the best hot sauce for last.
It's okay.
All right, so we're gonna you put as much as you want on your wing. You could dab it or
Oh,
soak
I get
it.
to put it on myself.
Yeah. So you can dab it or you can
Okay.
soak it.
This
So-
one, right?
Yeah. So here you go. I'm
Okay.
gonna just let you do yours first.
Okay. I think I'll just put a small drop on there.
If you thought Frank's or Tapatio was hot.
Yeah.
All right, then I will join you.
Okay. Get it right away.
So spicy, huh? So rapid fire questions for this last part.
Okay.
Do you have a bucket list? Do you have a bucket list?
Do I have a bucket list? I do. And at the top of my bucket list is to jump from a plane, skydive.
Okay.
And I think about that. I have not actually scheduled a time that will take place. I actually just had a birthday on the 1st. I turned 70 years old at that point. So I'm going to have to go on and schedule that pretty quick here.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah, but that's at the top of my bucket list, yes.
What's your favorite dish to cook?
To cook, I talked to my wife about this, and she says that, it's probably macaroni and cheese, right? Which is an easy thing. I'm not talking about the macaroni and cheese
Not Kraft
like I was
or-
raised on, right?
Okay.
Where you go through the whole process with the real cheese and, you put it in the oven and it's baked and that. I'm talking about dumping it out of the box and then, letting the macaroni cook. And then you put in the powdered cheese on that. There you go.
Okay. So do you have a favorite midnight snack?
I would probably have to back off of chips, but I will eat chips, and sometimes my wife will buy strawberry ice cream. I snack on that as well, but it's not the most healthy thing to do.
Right.
That's why I say I probably will have to back off of it, But yeah, I really like eating chips and ice cream at night.
Okay. And then lastly, I'm a big movie fan. Favorite genre of movie? What's yours?
My favorite, I really can't say I had a favorite, but if I was going to select one, it would be, now I'm not even thinking of it, Mel Gibson.
Passion?
Yes, Passion of the Christ,
Okay.
right? That would be my favorite. My wife, she likes, Spider-Man and those type,
Marvel and
yeah,
DCs.
that's not my cup of tea personally. I will watch it occasionally with her, to support her, but it's not my favorite. So my favorite movie probably would be Passion of the Christ.
Okay. Now, I want to say thank you for joining us for this
Absolutely.
hot show with these hot wings. As we're winding down, we just want to end with you looking at the camera, or the camera right here,
Okay.
and just speak to the viewers, end on an encouraging note, give them a personal message.
Absolutely. Well, what I want to say is, first of all, I do thank Brady for hosting this today and doing such a great job of that, and AJ, who obviously coordinated and made all of this happen. Thank those guys, and of course the church, who is the ultimate support. But what my encouragement is, and Brady mentioned it earlier about being a part of the prison ministry. If it's not the prison ministry, because it's not for everyone, and we understand that, if you are a Christian, you're a believer, get involved in serving the kingdom of God in some type of a way. That's the greatest thing that you can do when we consider that God gave us His all and giving Jesus as His Son to die for us so that we would have this relationship with Him. So we are to give something back. And you can't outgive God, we know that. But when you give of your time, you give of your energy, your effort, and you serve the kingdom of God, that is where your true fulfillment is going to come from. And I tell you, you will not regret anything that you do for God in the advancement of His kingdom. Thank you.
Well, we want to thank you for joining us on this show, and thank you guys for watching Hot Seat. We'll see you next time for our next interview. Thank you.
You know, when you first take it, it automatically, you know it, and then when you start to swallow, it starts to really sting in your throat and open your sinuses up, right? But it wasn't overly hot.